Willie's World, boys and girls. My name is Mrs. Mapes. This is Willy, and I'm glad to be back with you again. We also have Mrs. Krantz and George. Hi, Mrs. Krantz.
Hi.
How have you been?
I've been great, thank you.
Well, good. And what have you been doing lately?
Well, we had a very exciting week actually because last Tuesday was George's last time at Alta Sierra School, and one of the first grade classes gave her a photograph of all the children, and they had all signed it, thanking her for coming there all year.
Oh.
And then Wednesday at the library was also her last day until September. And she got some drawings that the children had made and some special dog snacks, and it was really a celebration. So we had a good week.
Quite a party.
Yes.
Then. My goodness. Is she going to be coming back next year?
Yes, definitely.
Same teacher, same class?
I'm not sure. That will be up to the principal and the teachers to decide, but we hope so.
Good. Well, one of the things we're going to be talking today about is families. And I've been thinking a lot about families this week. Do you know what a family is? Well, a family is made up of people that you love. Sometimes those people you love live with you, and sometimes they don't. So they're usually made up of a mother and a father and brothers or sisters, but even sometimes they're made up of grandmas and grandpas and cousins and aunts and uncles. And a family can be large and a family can be small. And not everybody in a family always lives together, but lots of times they do. And pets can also be in a family. I know in my family, Willy is very much a part of my family, along with my two sons and my husband, but now that my two sons are gone, Willy's the only part of our family that lives with us. But it doesn't mean that we don't love our two sons.
Right.
Who's in your family?
Well, our family right now, living in our house, consists of my husband and myself and George, and two parakeets and a cockatiel. But we also have 5 children, but they're all grown, so they come and visit, but they don't live with us.
So they're grown and gone also,
Yes.
just like mine. So right now, the only people in your house is George,
Right.
just like Willy.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to have a special guest today, and our special guest is going to talk about her family and be reading 2 stories to us. And let's meet our special guest right now. We'll move over here, Willy. Welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
And please pronounce your name for the boys and girls at home.
Okay, my first name is Irma, and my last name is Calderon.
Calderon.
Yes.
Yes, well, welcome to George and Willy's World.
Thank you.
And have a seat.
Thanks.
Will you please tell us a little bit about your family? We talked a few minutes about that, but tell the boys and girls at home what your family consists of.
Well, I have a family that consists of my husband. I have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, and 2 dogs.
And 2 dogs.
Susie and Cindy. And by the way, Cindy just had babies.
Oh, what kind of dogs are they?
Susie, it's a Cocker Spaniel, and Cindy, it's a Chihuahua.
Oh, small
Yeah,
ones.
yes.
Willy's a big one,
Yeah.
more like George.
Yes.
And you're going to be reading 2 stories for us.
Yes.
And what's special, boys and girls at home, what's special about Mrs. Calderon's stories is that you have 2 stories about family. One is an old fairy tale called Little Red Riding Hood.
Yep.
And the other is about 2 sisters, but you're going to read them in English, and then you're going to read them in Spanish.
Yes.
And so, boys and girls at home, are you ready? Because we have a very special guest. Open up your ears so you can hear both languages. And we'll start listening. Which one are you going to read first?
First, I'm going to read the Little Red Riding Hood, or Caperucita Roja in Spanish. First, I'm gonna start reading in Spanish, and then I'm gonna read it in English.
Okay.
So, Caperucita Roja, it's by Luz Orihuela. And ilustrado por Francis Rovira. Érase una vez una niña a quien todo el mundo llamaba Caperucita Roja, porque siempre llevaba una capucha de color rojo. There once was a girl who wore a red hood. Her name was Little Red Riding Hood. Un día su madre le pidió que llevara miel a su abuelita, que estaba enferma. One day her mother asked her to bring honey to her sick grandmother. Por el camino se encontró con el lobo. ¿A dónde vas, Caperucita?, le dijo el lobo con voz melosa. She met the wolf on the way to her grandmother's house. Where are you going, Little Red Riding Hood? The wolf asked in a sweet voice. Voy a casa de mi abuelita. No me entretengas, que tengo prisa, le respondió la niña. I am going to my grandmother's house. I can talk to you. I am in a hurry, said Little Red Riding Hood. Ve por este camino, que es más corto. Así llegarás antes, le mintió el lobo. Take this road. It's shorter. You will get there sooner, said the wolf. He wasn't telling the truth. Mientras tanto, el lobo corrió por un atajo hasta la casa de la abuelita. Una vez allí, encerró a la abuelita en el armario y se metió en la cama. The wolf took a shortcut to the grandmother's house. He locked the grandmother in a closet. He got into her bed. Cuando Caperucita llegó, encontró a su abuelita muy cambiada. Es porque estoy enferma, hijita, le dijo el lobo simulando la voz de la abuela. Little Red Riding Hood took to her grandmother's house. Her grandmother looked very different. I am sick, my dear, said the wolf. He tried to sound like her grandmother. Abuelita, ¿qué orejas tan grandes tienes?, dijo la pequeña. Son para oírte mejor, respondió el lobo. Grandma, what big ears you have, said Little Red Riding Hood. The better to hear you with, said the wolf. Abuelita, ¿qué ojos tan grandes tienes?, insistía la niña. Son para verte mejor, dijo el lobo acercándose a Caperucita. Grandma, what big eyes you have, said Little Red Riding Hood. The better to see you with, said the wolf. He moved closer to the girl. Abuelita, ¿qué boca tan grande tienes?, se atrevió a decir. Caperucita un tanto asustada. Es para comerte mejor, gritó el lobo abalanzándose sobre la niña. Grandma, what a big mouth you have, said Little Red Riding Hood. Now she was very scared. The better to eat you with, said the wolf. He jumped towards Little Red Riding Hood. The end. Pero en ese momento, unos cazadores oyeron los gritos de Caperucita. Entraron en la casa y escucharon al lobo, que se fue corriendo con el rabo entre las piernas. There were hunters outside. They heard Little Red Riding Hood cries. They rushed into the house and scared the wolf out. The wolf ran away with his tail between his legs. Now it's the end.
That happens to me too when I miss the last page and someone says, oh, there's one more.
Yeah, especially when they already know the story.
Yes. And this story is about two sisters.
Two sisters. And it's called Just Like My Sister.
Just Like My Sister. Did you have a sister when you were growing up?
You know, I come from a big family. I am from Mexico. So usually in Mexico families are big. So I have 6 sisters and 1 brother.
Oh, and
Yeah.
I have 0 sisters.
Really?
So I never had a sister.
Yeah. Well, when I got married and moved to this country, I was here by myself. So no family.
So a lot of your family still lives in Mexico then?
Yes, all my family lives in Mexico.
Well, we're glad you're here reading to us.
Thank you. Thanks.
And go right ahead, boys and girls at home. Are you ready to listen?
Okay. It's called Just Like My Sister, Igual que mi hermana. And it's written by Catherine Del Monte y Max Benítez. Escrito por Catherine Del Monte y Max Benítez. Mi hermana mayor es muy inteligente y hermosa. My older sister is so smart and pretty. Todos los días ella asiste a la escuela. Every day she goes to school. Y algunas veces después de la escuela, ella viene a mi clase de baile y ayuda a mi maestra. And sometimes after school, she comes to my dance class and helps my teacher. Algunos días yo la acompaño al juego de fútbol y ayudo a su entrenadora. Some days I go to her soccer game and I help her coach. Me encanta jugar a las muñecas con mi hermana, pero a ella le gusta hablar por teléfono. I like to play dolls with my sister, but she likes to talk on the phone. Algunos días que ayudo a mi hermana con su tarea. Some days I help my sister with her homework. Cuando mi hermana asistió a su primer baile de la escuela, le ayudé a vestirse y maquillarse. Después nos tomamos fotografías. When my sister went to her first school dance, I helped her get dressed, and I helped her put on her makeup. Then we took pictures. Las cosas no siempre son perfectas. Algunos días nos peleamos. Things aren't always so perfect. Some days we fight. Pero siempre nos entendemos. Ella juega y me levanta en el aire. Eso me alegra mucho. But then, we always work things out. She picks me up and thrills me around, and that makes everything better. Mi momento favorito del día es cuando leemos juntas en la cama. My favorite part of the day is when we read in bed.
Go ahead and finish.
Okay,
We have
un
one more
día
step.
yo seré grande, inteligente y hermosa. Iré a bailes y jugaré al fútbol igual que mi hermana. Someday I'll be big and smart and pretty, and I'll go to dances and play soccer just like my sister.
Very good.
The end.
Do you have any sisters?
Yes, I have 2 sisters, one older and one younger.
Oh, any brothers?
No brothers.
I only have brothers and I only have sons. No girls, and I only have boy dog. So we're going to be doing a couple crafts right now. I'd like for you to stay right where you are, and maybe you can help us do some crafts.
Sure.
So I'm going to come right over here.
George
As soon as
says,
I
what are you doing?
move this.
Okay. Come here, sweet. Lie down.
So boys and girls, we have 2 crafts that we're going to be working on today. One of them is a little picture book. And I really like this picture book because when some of you go away from home, maybe to school, or even if you're going to spend the night at a friend's house, you might want to bring some pictures of what your family looks like or some favorite things. You can put stuffed animals in here or picture of your pet or whatever you would like. So let me show you a little bit. This is just little pieces of construction paper or cardboard with a little front on it. We can write whatever we'd like on the front, and with 3 hole punches, and then there's pictures. And inside I see that I have pictures of myself. There's one when I was making a fire truck graham cracker, if you were with us that day. And there's another one when we had our fire marshal here with Willy and George. And oh, there's Willy and my husband on our motorcycle, the quad, which we go on a lot. And there's Willy with his backpack. Oh. Willy has a little backpack, so when we go camping, he brings his own food and his own bed. So we're going to make one of these today, and all you really have to do is find a piece of whatever color you would like. And I happened to bring some pictures. Here is, let's see which one I think I would like. This is my son, and both of my sons when my younger son graduated from college. So I would probably put that on a piece of paper. I'm going to cut that. I'm going to cut a piece in 4. I'm getting better at cutting, but
yes,
I'd still like for you to cut if you don't mind.
You want it in, cut it in 4th?
Yes, go ahead and cut it. Got all kinds of pictures.
Pictures are wonderful.
I know, and I was going through some pictures today and finding some that I liked. So what I'm going to do is I can put that picture and put a little glue stick on it, and then with clear plastic tape I can go over. What's nice about these is you don't have to use this clear plastic tape, but it is nice to cover them, and then that way, it's been a while since I've done these. You need to have good fingernails and good eyes, Mom and Dad at home, to do this one. And then once you have that, all we did was we cut about the size, lay it flat, and then I'm going to lay it flat, right like that down. The little edge, and flip this over. And then it's all nice.
Perfect.
And then all you have to do is cut around the edges.
Sure.
And after you've cut around the edges, then you're going to put 3 holes or 2 holes, and what we used was just a little bit of wrapping paper and wrapping thread, and then you can use yarn, you could use string, you can use material and just tie a little hole.
That's beautiful. And
I can add that to my book by punching in 3 holes. Okay. And then we would add that, and that would be a new page to put in my book. And anytime you go somewhere and you don't want to forget who you are in a family and who loves you, then you can always take your little book, and you can write something on the front too that says my family or pictures of my family. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing that we can do is over here, we have some picture. These are hands. And these hands, well, there's a couple things. You can have them by your bed at night, and it would be maybe your father's hand and your mother's hand, or if you happen to have a grandparent or whoever is in there, you might have more than one little person, so you might have 5 or 6 or even 7 hands attached to this, and you might have more than one dog, and you might even have a cat. So all of those you can add to it, and it's just a string, and you can say, you can put a picture, you can cut out a picture if you would like, or you could write something. I love my dad because, or my dad is special to me because, and you'll probably need help having someone write this for you. But you could also do it by yourself, and this could be laying right by your bed. Okay? I thought since I was here, I might just show you a couple pictures of my sons, bigger pictures. Here's my sons when they just got married. Not my sons, but this is my oldest son. This is Russell. And Russell lives 3,000 miles away in North Carolina. He's going to school there. He's still going to school there. And he married a wonderful girl from North Carolina, and her name is Marissa. That's Russell and Marissa. And at the wedding, my younger son, Michael, was the best man. And so it looks like they were together, but he was the best man, and when they turned around, we were able to get all 3 of them at the same time. So that's a real special picture to me. I thought that I would share that. And another picture that I thought I'd share is one of my husband, of us at the wedding too. So these are 2 pictures that I just had. That's my husband Rich and myself. We were both excited and happy because our first son. How old are your children?
They are 19. It's my oldest one. 19, 17, almost 18.
And so is he in school?
Yeah, my oldest one, he is attending Sierra College. And he wants to be a physical therapist.
Oh, good.
Then Vicky, she just graduated from high school. Joellen, she's going to be a senior. And my youngest one, he's 14, almost 15.
Wow.
Next September.
Wow. Yeah. And my sons, I always told them they could be whatever they wanted to be. So if your son wants to be a physical therapist, I believe he will. He's now a professor of geology at a university. Wow. And this son is going to go back to school. He finished college, and he's going to go back to school to be a lawyer. So he wants to be a lawyer. So they can be whatever whatever, boys and girls, you think about what you want to do, and you can be whatever you want to be. Nothing can stand in your way. How about your children?
Well, my oldest son is a researcher. He's a marine biologist.
Wow.
So he lives in Australia, and he gets to do a lot of exciting things. He scuba dives as part of his work. So that's great. That's really exciting.
That's exciting.
Yes, and my daughter is a special education teacher. She teaches first and second graders. And my youngest son owns a clothing store in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Yes, and then I have 2 stepsons, and one of them is an engineer, and he lives in Colorado. And the other one is also an engineer, and he has his own business now, and he lives in Oakland. So
you have
full family.
Isn't it amazing? They can be whatever. And this is my only it's a grand kitty. I actually have a cat in the family. This is my son's family member, is this cat. So I went back to visit, and so that's part of his family, is this kitty cat. So I call him my grand kitty.
Right.
So some of the things that, one thing we didn't ask about what you do is, where do you work and what do you do, Mrs. Calderon?
Yeah, I started working last November at the Nevada Union High School.
Oh.
I work with the English learner students. And before that, I worked for 10 years with the Early Head Start program.
So the Head Start is for these children this age too.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you may
so-
have met some of their parents and some of their older
I might.
brothers and sisters
Yeah, I
that are in
might.
school now.
Yes, that's true.
Yes. And so, wow, you're at the high school.
Now I am at the high school, yeah, so I changed from preschoolers to high schoolers.
That's
Which
a
is good.
big.
Mhm.
Big. So we're going to be, let me tell you a little bit about if you're looking for any more fun activities, please tune in at the NCTV community calendar and they'll have all the activities that we did today and more in our area. And also if you have any letters to write to George and Willy, please address them to George and Willy's World at 235 South Auburn Street in Grass Valley, 95945. And boys and girls, be sure to listen to lots of stories, do your jobs, and have fun playing. And while we're going out, I'm going to read you a couple of poems about families. What is a family? Who is a family? One and another makes two is a family. Baby and father and mother, a family. Parents and sister and brother, a family. All kinds of people can make up a family. All kinds of mixtures can make up a family. That's what a family is. Until next time, bye-bye. See you.
Do they need to have any special